Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon. Now, if you notice, I'm wearing a cowrie shell in my hair. The cowrie shell was always meant for protection. Just as a father is the protector of the household, he develops a special relationship with his daughter. This is the reason why we have to be very cautious and very careful about the decisions that we make when we're dating. Because if this person becomes the father of your children, he is to be a guide to your daughter as well. There's always a special relationship that a daughter has with her father, just as a son has with his mother. Now, all relationships should be special, but there's a uniqueness between that daughter and father. You see, what she sees in him, it acts as a guide to what she sees in the person that she's going to choose as a mate. As a mate, the father supplies a certain protection. He teaches her certain things. He'll walk on the outside while she walks on the inside while walking down the street. This is a guide to show her that the man in her life is to protect her heart while he's interacting with it, as well as protection, physical protection. There's certain things that a daughter and father learn. Like, I remember once my father figure sitting down at a table and we ate a meal. And as we ate this meal, he told me of a story of a girl who could have been my mother, as he stated while having this meal. He stated how he was very nervous about dating this girl, and how she was just so pretty to him that he finally got up the nerve to actually ask her out. And she said yes. So on the day of, he went ahead and got up early, got the car washed, and he was really in a rush. So he went ahead and made sure that he was showered and dressed very nicely, went to the door, gave her flowers, met the father at the door, and walked her to the car. They went out to eat, and it was a great conversation, but at the end of the meal, he realized that he'd left his wallet on the dresser because he was so excited. Sometimes when you're excited, you don't think everything through. You're rushing, and he was, in fact, rushing. So he didn't have the money, and he had to present it to her, and he was very nervous about this. After all, this was a person who he thought might be in his future. This was a person who he looked at with great respect and admiration. So he formulated the words to tell her that he didn't have the money and that he'd left his wallet at home. And she got very loud at the restaurant. And she said, "You don't have any money? Oh, you just playing me? No. And her reaction was very negative. So she finally went into her purse and she put the money on top of the table, which was a work against his pride. See, had she handed it to him underneath the table, it would have been a better or more presentable experience. But she put it on the table in great anger. He paid the bill, and she didn't even want to get in the car. She finally got in the car, and he dropped her off at her house, and he rushed back to the house to get the money. When he got the money, he put it in the envelope, and he slipped it underneath her door. He did this because it was already an angry experience, and he didn't want to have any more of a negative interaction with her. So when he slipped it underneath the door, the father saw something coming under the door and opened the door, and he then expressed his anger and disappointment. My father explained what happened, and the father walked back into the house and closed the door. Later on in years, when he bumped into this woman, she smiled, and she had, she wanted to apologize for her behavior, but the damage was already done. Because of her display of anger, because of her display in her actions, and as well as her words, things were never the same. You see, even a father figure, her father being at the door, told him that her father and she had a good relationship, or at least a respectful one, as to why he wanted to meet him. As a father, when a father is in a woman's life, a girl's life, and she's growing up with all the different examples, even if she decides to have date and she introduces that mate to the father, if the father's behavior is disrespectful to the young lady, then the boyfriend is going to follow suit because he's following the guidelines of that father. So let us keep that in mind when we're dating. Look for a person who is going to be respectful, loving, and supportive of you, because it's important. All these things are important whenever you're looking for a potential mate. I don't think a lot of women want to just sleep around. What they really want is a person who's going to be respectful, a person who's going to be friendly, a good listener, a person who is going to interact respectfully and loving and caring. You want to give what you want to receive. And in a relationship, it's a give and take. But that father sets certain tones in that young lady's life. So if she doesn't have a father figure or father in her life, what does that mean? She is looking for this mate to do certain things, and sometimes she doesn't know what that is that she's looking for. I once met an African guy who said that when he dates African women, it's not really a date. They know what's expected of him. So dating an American woman, she doesn't know what's expected. So sometimes that can be twisted in different ways. You know, no matter what the religious background is or whatever the cultural background is, respect and love and a friendship is always something that should be developed. Let us keep that in mind. Thank you so much for joining us. Indigo Moon.